Hey folks, it's Man once again coming at you with another review. Now, this is thanks to a very nice guy, Victor, aka Mannygatillo, who sent me this. Adjust Your Tracking, the untold story of the VHS Collector. That's a really cool cover. Now, this might remind people of one that I reviewed before, which another good friend, my friend Efri, sent me this. And this review's still up. I'll put that review down below for this one. Rewind this. Expertly tells a comprehensive story of the rise and fall of the VHS format. Wonderfully nostalgic and cohesive documentary I cannot recommend it strongly enough from Anatool News. Now, the difference between this is Rewind This is more, like it says, it's more about the rise and fall of the VHS format, its birth, its death, the VH format itself. And I really enjoy this. If you watch the video that I reviewed this, I really enjoyed this. And you can hear more thoughts on why I enjoyed in that. But that isn't about this, but I wanted to showcase this. I'll be honest, when I put this in, I'm like, okay, it's not going to be as good as this, because I've seen this already. Rewind this, and, this is more about the VHS format and the era itself, while this is just about collectors. But I can honestly say I enjoy both of these very much. It's hard for me to pick which one I like better. I know, again, for those interested, Rewind This. It's available, as well as this. But anyway, get into this. It's hard for me to pick which I like more, because I know someone, I forget who it was, told me they didn't like this one. Because long ago I told them about this thing, and they thought I meant this, but I had meant this. So they saw this, and they go, well, I didn't care for it. So I kind of like, okay, whatever, I got this. And again, I really enjoyed it. I mean, yeah, this is more about the collectors, but I still found it very fascinating, because I think they do a lot of cool stuff in this. Oh, by the way, I gotta say, if anyone who made this watches this, if you ever do a part 2, you gotta talk to my friend Mike, OCP Communications, here on YouTube, because that is a VHS collector. That guy literally has 2 locations for VHS. He has one where it's VHS in storage, and he has one as his entire bed. Everything under his bed is VHS. I mean, he has a bed of VHS. Anyway, that guy is a VHS collector. That's a guy you need to check out. But I guess this got actually helped by Kickstarter, which I think is very cool. And you see some of the same people in this that you see in Rewind This. And that's an hour and 30 minutes. This is an hour and 20 minutes. But this was still very fascinating. This is a 2-disc set. The second disc is actually in there. So that's why you only see one. But it's actually a 2-disc set. And this is actually a different case, because the case it came in was kind of ripped. So I put it in a different case. And you even had a booklet. Now, I'll just read the back of this. They all thought VHS was dead. They were dead wrong. Some see VHS as worthless plastic, but Adjust Your Tracking shows a vibrant world of collectors and movie fans who are keeping the format and the movies alive. Over 100 collectors, filmmakers, producers, and video store owners express how VHS changed their lives. Travel back to the days of video rental stores, with those who still buy, sell, rent, and trade the format that will not die. VHS. Here's one sad thing I gotta mention. Well, it's not sad because for this, you know how sometimes I talk about that Ninja Turtles documentary that's only 90 minutes but has nothing else to it? This has over 7 hours of bonus features. This is something that these guys did in Kickstarter, and it's a 2-disc, over 7 hours of bonus features, including, I think, the extended scenes is like over 2 hours, and then like deleted scenes that's like about 30 minutes, and yeah, other stuff on there. I think also because you have 2 commentary tracks, so an hour and 20, that's 2 hours and 40 minutes of that, but still over 2 hours of extended interviews. And Yeah, this is more Pat than the Ninja Turtles documentary. That kills me. Sorry, there's no excuse. Sorry, I'm not gonna be kind. There's no excuse when this can get a 2-disc collector's edition with all of these bonus features. But anyway, get into this. I didn't like. If I had to pick, I think more people will They will lean towards this because this is about the VHS format as a whole. I mean, they mentioned collectors, but it's all different types of the VHS format and how it got started and its history and its death and such. While, again, this is more specific. But I enjoy both of these. I mean, look at it. Even the covers of these are excellent. They're awesome covers. And one thing I like about Adjust Your Tracking, what they did, was the entire thing from beginning to end looks like a VHS tape. Like, it literally looks like a VHS tape. Like, when it starts off, you have that blue, sort of bluish glow that a VHS tape had. You even have that phone number. You know how you put VHS tapes in? You hear that phone number. You hear that phone number. And even everything, like the opening credits is like a VHS tape. When a title pops up, it's like something you would see on a VHS tape. And the quality of the entire thing is like a VHS tape, which I find endearing for the subject at hand. I find that very endearing. I'm not sure if this came out with a VHS tape that you could have had, but I find that endearing that the whole thing from beginning to end looks like a VHS tape. I find that very endearing. Even the end credits, when the titles come up, is like something you see on VHS tape. And even when they end, they have that dead air tone, that beep, and it's very nostalgic, and I think it's very cool. Like the whole thing. You have old commercials from back in the day in VHS, and they go a little bit into the beginning of VHS and also the death of VHS. They talk about Blockbuster. They even have a Hard to Kill with Steven Seagal ad, like a little TV spot. Own on video cassette at Blockbuster. And they have like another little one like Back to the Future 2 at Blockbuster. And they talk about how, Blockbuster, what they did to kill the mom and pop stores. For example, them working with the studios, and they upped the price of what they would have to pay for a movie to like, I don't know, $90 or such. So Blockbuster could get a bunch of these. But the mom and pop stores, they can only afford maybe one. So because they can only afford one, and then by the time that they couldn't get their money's worth on that because they need to get one for the next 1 or 2 weeks of the new releases, and they just, because there was only one copy, while Blockbuster had like 5, 10 copies at least, people went more towards Blockbuster and the mom and pop stores. A lot of disdain for Blockbuster, and I don't blame them after watching this. They mentioned quickly about films not on DVD. Well, about, there's films on DVD, not on DVD. They do talk about the DVD format. They even had that old commercial for DVD that I remember seeing back in the day. But then you get like a brief history of VHS before that. You have... I don't want to give everything away. I think people... If you like rewind this, I think you should check this one out. Who knows? You might like one more than the other. I enjoy both. I'm glad I have both. Thanks to you guys. I love both of these. Like my friend Mike, OCP, you definitely have to check this out. You definitely have to check this out. I mean, check both of them out. But my friend Mike, OCP, you gotta check these out. You gotta make these purchases. But, it's weird. Some of these that they have on the cover, they don't mention. Like, they never mention Nightmare on the Damaged Brain, or Zombie, or The Prowler, or The Deadly Spawn, or Exterminator, or I think it's Exterminator 2. They don't really mention these movies, so I'm not sure why. But I'm not sure why they're on the cover. I guess just because. But it still makes a very cool cover. what was this? Oh yeah, they had the old DVD commercial, which I remember back in the day. Uh, some of the stuff they mentioned that there was actually a VHS convention, which if my friend Mike saw this, he'd go, "Why can't I be there?" Oh yeah, they were showing, they were talking about films that were not on DVD, but they didn't talk about specific films, but they showed clips, and one of the clips they showed was for Rad. I thought that was really cool. They showed a clip from Rad, and also I think the Wildlife, I believe it's called. They talked to a bunch of collectors. They do a spotlight on some of them. Like they do a spotlight on K&J Horror. You know, this guy here who has a shitload. I remember I watched videos a long time ago with my friend Mike, and he was like, "God, it's too much VHS," and that does come from him. And then there's actually another guy, which I thought this was absolutely cool. He made a video store in his basement. Now he doesn't actually rent movies. They don't really come across that in the documentary itself, but if you listen to the commentary, he says it's a video store, a rental store, but he doesn't actually rent them. He just, for the fuck of it, for the fun of it, he turned his old basement into a video store. So you put like a computer, an old school computer. He got like a gumball machine, posters, an old school TV to play a movie. He's got like the video shelves and action, horror, and the movies are on there. That is so awesome. I'm so jealous that actually, you have a basement. You live in your basement? I want to live in that basement, the video store basement. I want to live in the video store basement. I thought that was so cool what this guy did. Um, I like that throughout when they mention VHS, sometimes they show clips from movies that also have VHS stuff in them. Like one called Psychos in Love, Remote Control with Kevin Dillon, which I was surprised that Jeff Lieberman didn't try to sue your ass. Because that's the same asshole that I did a review for that film, and I'd put clips in it to let people know, hey, this is a film I like, go check it out. And the guy flattened my channel, and this was a long time ago. And apparently he put that film out on Blu-ray himself, which I didn't grab a copy, so fuck you, Jeff Lieberman. How about you just ask me, hey, I have a Blu-ray coming out, let people know. And I would have gladly done it. But you want to act like a dickhead, this is what you get. Anyway. Surprised Jeff Lieberman didn't try to sue these guys. You used my clip. He didn't try to sue me. I'm just saying he acted like an asshole. But anyway, back on topic. But they talk about stuff like they talk about Wizard Video. They talk about like how this guy, when they really show how collecting was a bigger thing, this guy like paid almost $700 for a videotape. And they talked a bit about this tape called Tales from the Quad Dead Zone, which I guess is the most rare videotape. And I find this very fascinating, all this stuff, very interesting. Maybe others don't, but I find all this very interesting stuff. And a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this stuff. I really loved it. And I thought it was such a kick to see. I hope one day my friend Mike gets this or is able to see this. I love to watch this with him, see his thoughts. Because the first time I actually heard about this, saw the trailer to this, and saw the trailer with my friend Mike, and you go, oh wow, this looks so cool. So it's like he gets a DVD, I get a DVD, we pop it in and watch it together. It's just, I like this stuff. I really enjoy this type of stuff. And also the features are pretty cool. Like the first disc, you actually have these two stories that are pretty depressing. Like one it's about this video store, about how this family had for 30 years, and there was a fire, so half the store got changed to like a beauty salon, and the other half was a VHS store. And they talked about how it's dying days, and how they only get like 5 rentals a day, and the guy, even though he's owned this for 30 years and his son works there, and you could tell, he was putting a smile on, but you could tell that it was hurting a lot more. And then even the ending was depressing. It was, cuts to the place is closed down, and the two of them have gotten jobs at Walmart. It was just so depressing. It's like, oh my God, and you know, I know how that goes. But it was really depressing to see. It was like reliving that over again. And also the second one is, it's talking to a guy who's liquidating the stuff, and you see like people, buying VHS tapes, and it's just pretty depressing, sort of the death of these stores. And what's fucking ironic is I watched that, and a fucking video store opened called Family Video. Yes, a new video store opened called Family Video. A fucking new store opened in 2014. And I'm like, the video store I was at closed, and they just opened a new one. Well, they'll learn. They will learn. It's too bad. But and the second disc, again, they have featurettes on Scarecrow Video, which is this insane fucking video store. I think it's in Seattle, Washington. Insane VHS video store that I wish my friend Mike and I were rich, and then we'd go to New York and get our friend Effrey, and then all three of us go to this fucking store in Seattle, Washington called Scarecrow Video, because it is insane, like a fucking... It looks like a Walmart version of a video store. It's just insane. It's like they have everything. And I'm like, God, I wish I could go with those two. Yeah, if I win the lottery, and then maybe I'd go with get my friend Michael from Oklahoma, and the four of us make like a journey, like a road trip, film it, make it into a documentary. We get rich again from that, and then our trip to Scarecrow Video. Seriously, just the four of us go on there, man. This is a crazy thing. Scarecrow Video. You also talk about Faces of Death, and a lot of stuff to this. A lot of stuff to this. But I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it a lot. And got a really big kick out of it. And by the way, if you saw a cut somewhere, just had to get some stuff done real quick. Mainly like some water and stuff real quick. But, so sorry if there was an abrupt cut. You're like, well, why was there a cut? Well, that's why. But, yeah, I really enjoy this. I got a kick out of this. I love this. Second disc was really cool. Really fun to watch. I mean, I'm not going to give everything away, but I'm glad I have this. I'm so glad I have this, and I have both of these. I think both of these are really good. It's a good double feature. That's just my opinion, though. But either way, that's Adjust Your Tracking, the untold story of the VHS Collector. Again, that's the back of it. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.